United States President Donald Trump experienced an unexpected halt to one of his campaign rallies recently when an emergency unfolded directly in the audience. The incident occurred during a fervent speech in the state of Kentucky, where the president was addressing a crowd of his supporters. At the time, President Trump was in the midst of a passionate critique of the Democratic Party. His focus had specifically turned to Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, a prominent figure among the Democrats. The president was heard declaring, "Gavin Newsom's career is over," a strong statement characteristic of his rally speeches. It was precisely at this dramatic juncture that the unexpected happened. Behind the president, within the large gathering of his supporters, a woman suddenly collapsed. The immediate seriousness of the situation was apparent as she reportedly fell to the ground, losing consciousness. The president, witnessing the event or being alerted to it, promptly interrupted his speech. He turned away from his prepared remarks and directed his attention towards the unfolding emergency in the crowd. With urgency, he called out, asking for a doctor to come forward and assist. A sudden hush fell over the audience as the usual cheers and applause that accompany a presidential rally were replaced by a tense silence, as helpers swiftly moved through the crowd to reach the woman in distress. This spontaneous pause brought the rally to a standstill, with all eyes, including the president's, focused on the immediate medical need. Among the many attendees that day was a notable figure, Mehmet Oz. Not the well-known television personality, but rather Mehmet Oz, the head of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, a crucial agency within the United States Department of Health and Human Services. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Mehmet Oz quickly rushed to the scene. He was among the first to offer assistance to the woman, who was visibly unconscious and had indeed fallen to the floor. Several other guests at the event also stepped forward, lending their support and helping hands in the moments that followed. During this interruption, President Trump maintained a composed demeanor. He addressed the audience, reassuring them by stating, "We have all the time in the world." He further praised the crowd, adding, "These are great people here," a gesture seemingly aimed at keeping spirits calm amidst the emergency. While the medical responders and volunteers continued their efforts to aid the woman in the background, a peculiar request came from the president. He suddenly suggested playing a song. "If the people behind the stage are listening to me," President Trump requested, "play Ave Maria by Luciano Pavarotti." However, for reasons not immediately clear, the iconic opera song was not played during the pause. Eventually, after what must have felt like a considerable wait for everyone present, the woman was reported to be back on her feet. Once she had regained her composure, the president called out to her, presumably offering words of encouragement or acknowledgement. She was then safely escorted out of the venue by event staff and helpers. Following the resolution of the immediate emergency, President Trump resumed his speech. However, before continuing with his planned remarks, he made a comment regarding the incident that quickly drew attention. He indirectly seemed to attribute the woman's collapse to the very subject he had been discussing, his criticism of the Democrats and Governor Gavin Newsom. President Trump remarked, "The topic probably didn't sit so well with her," implying a connection between his political rhetoric and the medical emergency. Throughout this period, the White House's live broadcast of the rally was temporarily halted. A message appeared on screens, informing viewers that the transmission would resume shortly. Indeed, after a few minutes, the live feed was restored, and President Trump continued with his address as planned. As of the latest reports, there has been no specific information released regarding the woman's health condition following the incident. The focus remains on the swift response from both the event organizers and the audience, and the unusual circumstances surrounding the interruption of a presidential rally. What's your take on Trump pauses rally after woman collapses in crowd? Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence.